Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, just going to give you some more additional information on Jadon Sancho. So it looks like now Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is officially over. It did confirm earlier on today that Manchester United have missed the deadline to sign Jadon Sancho, after he has boarded a plane to join Borussia Dortmund's training camp in Switzerland. Now, obviously, Borussia Dortmund said we had to reach an agreement by today because obviously, today was the deadline. Obviously, yesterday, Jadon Sancho had dropped a transfer hint because don't forget he was recently in the UK, because I think he attended a house party, and obviously, some Manchester United fans thought that might have stirred suggestions up. So yeah, looking like now Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is off. Obviously, it was totally contrast now to last week, because obviously, last week it was looking very, very imminent that Jadon Sancho was going to be coming to Manchester United, because you had Fabrizio Romano last week, who was a very reliable Italian journalist, and obviously, he's close to Man United as well, and he said that negotiations between Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund were at an advanced stage, and he said that Jadon Sancho agreed personal terms with Man United, and he said he was going to sign a 5-year contract with the football club worth around £340,000 a week. But there again, there were stories coming out last week, towards the end of last week, saying that talks had broken down between Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund, and it said then the deal could have been off. Obviously, because of Borussia Dortmund's valuation. Because I did say, didn't I, throughout the course of the Jadon Sancho transfer saga, it has been Borussia Dortmund's asking price that has definitely been the stumbling block. Borussia Dortmund have said several times that they want over £100 million, and we said several times we were not willing to meet their valuation. Borussia Dortmund's valuation was £108 million. I think Borussia Dortmund were looking for around £90 million up front, but we wasn't willing to do this. We was only willing to pay like £60 or £70 million up front. Obviously, if we'd have met that valuation, then, Sancho would have been our most expensive signing, and he would have been the most expensive English player in history. But yeah, looking like Sancho's going to be remaining at Dortmund for next season, because, we've only been the club that have been in for him recently. Obviously, Liverpool are no longer in for him, and Chelsea are no longer in for him. But I am actually disappointed about this, because I wanted Manchester United to sign Sancho, because I've already outlined the reasons why. Because he's got a very good friendship with Rashford. He's predominantly a right winger. And plus, he would have improved us a lot, because Sancho's a player that can score goals, he can create chances, and his runs on and off the ball are very, very good. Sancho's endured 3 good years with Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund got him for next to nothing. They only paid £8 million in from Man City back in 2017. Sancho did enjoy a few years with Man City, but the main explanation why he had to leave is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities. And before he was at City, he was at Watford, and he was at Watford for several years. Sancho has still got a contract with Dortmund till 2022. We did make a promise to Sancho as well, that we would have given him the number 7, because I think he'd have fulfilled our number 7 well. And obviously, we have got number 7 vacant at the moment, but we have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations in that. But, we first expressed our interest in Sancho in 2017, and, we have been in for him for the last few years now, and for a while, he has been our number 1 priority target. But Borussia Dortmund's CEO did recently deny that we were in advanced talks to sign the player. There were stories coming out from the German press a couple of weeks ago saying that we allegedly had an £89 million bid turned down. Now, obviously, we're looking at alternatives now to Sancho, because obviously we're not going to get him on the board now. But we was also looking at alternatives anyway, because I will make an admission, there is cheaper solutions in him. We've recently been looking at Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. We inquired about getting him on loan the other week. We looked at Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. We looked at Thiago Almeida. It recently says we've been interested in Federico Chiesa from Fiorentina. We've looked at Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. We looked at Ferran Torres at one point. But Borussia Dortmund, I think, will be happy, that he has joined their training camp, because I think Borussia Dortmund did expect him to leave. And obviously they have been in the market looking for replacements for Sancho. They've recently been looking at Memphis Depay from Lyon. They looked at Rashika from Werder Bremen the other week. And they also looked at Jonathan Eacock from Lille. So yeah, maybe we could get Jadon Sancho in, the January transfer window or the summer of 2021. But I'm very, very sceptical now that we are going to get him in this summer transfer window and that. But yeah, they said 3 weeks ago, we've got until the 10th of August to get a deal over the line. That is long enough, really. But, if we'd have just met Borussia Dortmund's asking price, then we would have got him on the board. But I think £108 million is a bit too much, for just one player. But it's a shame. He's only the age of 20, and he would have fitted Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly. Borussia Dortmund, though, have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. There's also players that they've let go who didn't go to the Premier League. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund have, recruited some good players in recent years. Don't forget they got Bellingham the other week from Birmingham. They got Erling Haaland in January. There were two players, that Manchester United wanted. So there's another two players we missed out on now, including Sancho. They brought likes of Julian Brandt and Thorgan Hazard in recent years. Don't forget they got Emre Can permanently. But as far as I'm aware, Jadon Sancho wanted to come to Manchester United. He really, really did. But anyway, that is the breaking news on him. Now, I just want to give you some news on David De Gea and Dean Henderson. So reportedly, David De Gea or Dean Henderson could leave Manchester United in this summer transfer window. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did come out, didn't he, yesterday, and said that he has got a tough decision to make on our three senior goalkeepers, and he says it will be difficult for us to keep all three goalkeepers at the club for next season and that. So, who do you think should leave, David De Gea or Dean Henderson? Well, I think, we should get rid of David De Gea in this summer transfer window. And like I said, I don't want David De Gea to be our number one. He has been our number one for several years. This was De Gea's 9th season at Manchester United, and he is approaching his 10th year at the football club. And De Gea has made 404 appearances for Man United in all competitions, and 300 odd of those appearances have come in the Premier League. Solskjaer was talking about De Gea quite a few weeks ago, saying that he has been the best goalkeeper in the world for the last 9 or 10 years, and Solskjaer has defended De Gea because he has been heavily criticised, by a lot of Man United fans. He's been criticised by, likes of Roy Keane. Obviously, Alan Shearer criticised him before. But I just think, De Gea's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been at Manchester United, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he has made. But if we were to sell De Gea in this summer transfer window, I think we'd get probably around £60 million for him. But that'd be still a huge profit, because we only paid just over £18 million in from Atletico Madrid back in 2011. But when De Gea does leave Manchester United, I think he will go back to Spain. Obviously, back in 2015 he was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to fax machine the deal never materialised. Also, too, De Gea was born in Spain, relatives are from Spain, girlfriend from Spain, and began his footballing career in Spain. But De Gea, like I mentioned before, has won everything domestically at the football club, and he has won individual awards, reflects on his good performances over the years. So I think we need to get rid of him, and plus it'll help us with our rebuilding process by getting rid of David De Gea. But like I've said, we don't want to get rid of Dean Henderson. I think we need to put Dean Henderson as number one for next season. Whether Solskjaer decides to put him as number one or not, I do not know. Solskjaer did recently say that he doesn't think Dean Henderson is ready to become Manchester United's number one goalkeeper. Solskjaer was talking about Dean Henderson prior to our game against Sheffield United. It was our second game after lockdown, and he said that he's not yet ready, but He said he expects Dean Henderson to be England's number one and Manchester United's number one goalkeeper in the future. Must mean the foreseeable future, but I think Dean Henderson has now got that experience behind him and he's reliable enough to become our number one. He's endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and I think he's been Sheffield United's player of the season this season. He's also had other loan spells as well with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. Obviously, we got Dean Henderson back in 2011 from Carlisle. We got him at the age of 14. And Dean Henderson's current contract with Man United runs until 2022. But reportedly, we've recently been in negotiations with Dean Henderson's agent over getting him a new contract, and reportedly we've offered him like £60,000 a week. But Dean Henderson said he'll only stay at Man United if he is to be assured to be number one for next season. If he isn't assured to be number one next season, then Dean Henderson has said, he wants to leave the football club. Obviously, Chelsea are still interested in him because they're looking for a replacement for Kepa Arrizabalaga. So, So a big goalkeeping decision to make. Obviously, we've got Sergio Romero as well. If we do recall Dean Henderson from his loan, obviously Sergio Romero will be our third choice goalkeeper. And obviously, Sergio Romero won't want to be third choice. Obviously, Sergio Romero does play in a lot of our cup games. Obviously, played in all our FA Cup games apart from the FA Cup semi-final. Plays in our Europa League games. And Sergio Romero's got a year left on his Manchester United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. This has been Sergio Romero's 5th season at the club because we did get him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015 and that. So there's a possibility chance that Romero could leave in this summer transfer window. And Solskjaer's got to decide tonight who he's going to put in goal against Copenhagen. Is he going to go with Romero or is he going to go with David De Gea? Me, personally speaking, I think he's going to go with David De Gea. I really, really do. Because like I said to you, I don't think Solskjaer is going to take any risks. So that is the latest news on that. By the way, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has issued a warning to Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford against self-interest. So what he's basically said is, if any of them are, caught, playing for themselves, then obviously, they will be dropped. Because Solskjaer knows we still need to be slightly more clinical in front of goal. Don't get me wrong, Martial and Rashford have done well throughout the course of the season. Obviously, Rashford at the start of the season was okay, but didn't make the best of impacts. And obviously, Rashford got that back injury, didn't he? He was out for a few months. And towards the end of the season, Rashford did quite well. Definitely, Rashford is the foreseeable future for Man United. Rashford has been a United player since the age of 7 and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Don't forget, Rashford scored on his Europa League debut twice against Midtjylland. When he got into the senior squad, he scored twice on his Premier League debut against Arsenal. Scored in his first Manchester derby. Also scored in his League Cup debut. I think he also scored on his international debut. But I think Rashford's got 22 goals for the football club in all competitions this season. But throughout the course of this season, he has been playing on that left-hand side. Anthony Martial, got to give him a lot of credit. Martial has enjoyed a fantastic season. Throughout the course of this season, Anthony Martial has been playing in that number 9 role. So he has been playing centrally. And I think he looks very, very effective in that central position, even though that's not his predominant position. Because in his 4 previous seasons prior to this one, he was playing out wide. But this has been his 5th year at the football club, so he's done well this season under Solskjaer. And I also thought he did very, very well in his debut season under Louis van Gaal era. Don't forget, we got Martial at the age of 19. He did score on his debut in our 3-1 win against Liverpool, don't forget. And yeah, he's on 23 goals in all competitions this season. Martial did score the winner against Lask recently, which was very, very good to see. Don't forget, he did score a hat-trick in our 3-0 win against Sheffield United in our second game after lockdown, and that was his first senior hat-trick for the club, and he became the first Manchester United player to score a hat-trick since Robin van Persie back in 2012. So anyway, that is Solskjaer's warning to Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford. Don't forget though, like he updated you this morning, Solskjaer has praised Anthony Martial and Paul Pogba because he has been discussing the extra work that they have been doing. Obviously, Paul Pogba's got to make up for his lost time because for the vast majority of the Premier League season, Paul Pogba was out with an ankle injury. But he did make an impact, towards the end of the Premier League season, did Pogba and that. Solskjaer has basically said that, Pogba will stay at Manchester United, and he said he will sign a new contract with the football club, probably expecting to sign a 4 or a 5 year deal. Don't forget, a couple of weeks before the season ended, it said that Pogba was close to agreeing a 5 year deal with Manchester United. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano came out just before the season finished and said that Man United do want to extend Paul Pogba's contract. And he said Pogba's agent Mini Raiola is waiting for the offer. And he also said that Paul Pogba is happy at the club and he does want to stay at Manchester United. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his current contract with the club, but there is also an option of a further year. But I think his combination with Bruno Fernandes has been absolutely fantastic in that. So the news on that. But big game tonight against FC Copenhagen in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. It is our 26th European quarterfinal. If we do beat Copenhagen, we will reach our second European semi-final since Alex Ferguson's retirement, and we will play the winners of Wolves and Sevilla. I think Wolves and Sevilla is tomorrow. But definitely, the Europa League is a priority for Manchester United. Obviously, I want us to win the Europa League because if we do, we will win our first trophy under Solskjaer, and also it will be our first trophy in over 3 years. So we haven't won a trophy since we won the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho, and that, came in his first season. But we are the favourites anyway to win the Europa League, and Solskjaer has said, winning the Europa League as Manchester United manager would be one of the greatest achievements. So it would actually surpass 1999, because 1999 was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moment as a player, because obviously he did win the club the treble, and obviously the treble is one of the club's greatest achievements in that. I think in the game tonight against FC Copenhagen, Solskjaer is going to name a strong 11 because, like I said, he isn't going to take any risks. He isn't going to take any risks, is he? He'll make quite a lot of changes from our 2-1 win against Lask in the last round. Because obviously, in the last round against Lask, Solskjaer didn't go, with his strongest 11, and look how much we struggled in that second leg. Obviously, the game against Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final, didn't go with our strongest team, and look what happened. Norwich in the FA Cup quarter-final, struggled against them, didn't go with our best team. But Solskjaer hasn't really indicated, what team he's going to go with tonight. But I just think he's going to go with a strong 11. Like I said, I think it'll be De Gea in goal. Bissaka will come in at right back. Bissaka didn't play any part against Lask in the second leg, did he? Lindelof will be back in the team. He didn't play any part against Lask in the second leg. Williams will keep his place at left back, won't he? Pogba will start. Probably Bruno Fernandes will start. Maybe Rashford will start. Martial will start. Maybe Lingard will get given another chance in that. But Tommy and Fred as well, they could also be involved. So yeah, he will make several changes. But we're only 3 games away now from winning this trophy. But like I said, so far Solskjaer has exceeded expectations this season at Manchester United. Obviously, we got qualification for the Champions League, which was, very, very good. Because I did say how important Champions League qualification was, for our players, attracting players, and for the financial structure. We also finished 3rd. I think that was also a fantastic achievement. And we also got to the EFL Cup semi-final, and we got to the FA Cup semi-final. So overall, you can say Solskjaer's done very, very well in his first full season at the club, because earlier on in the season, we've reflected on how bad we was. You wouldn't have thought Solskjaer would have exceeded expectations, but earlier on in the season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, and at that point, Solskjaer was very, very close to getting sacked as Manchester United manager. But the big test for Solskjaer is definitely next season, because next season he'll have bigger expectations to exceed. Next season we'll be expected to challenge for the Premier League title, because this has been the 7th season now we've failed to mount any kind of title challenge up, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. As it stands at the moment, we are the most successful team in Premier League history, because obviously, we've won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier Leagues in that. But like I said, big decisions have got to be made in this summer transfer window, of obviously what players we're going to recommend in, and what players we are going to get rid of and that. I think Solskjaer's already outlined his transfer plans. He did instruct our board to go and get his preferred targets. And I think we can recruit well in this summer transfer window. Solskjaer said he wants to make at least 3 signings. I think Ed Woodward said he wants Man United to make around 3 or 4 signings in this summer transfer window. Our transfer budget's been revealed. We have got around £140 million to spend. And Solskjaer's obviously identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up and that. Like I said to you, there's been a lot of players on our agenda. Sancho for a long time. Grealish still remains on our agenda, but I'm going to fully disregard Grealish coming to Man United now. I think he's going to stay at Aston Villa, because obviously Aston Villa avoided relegation, and Villa have said they want around 80 million for Grealish, and I think 80 million is too much. There were stories coming out regarding Raul Jimenez the other week as well, weren't there? Saying that allegedly was on his way to Man United, but it turned out like it wasn't true. So on that particular story, it was the media justifying their existence. There's been centre-halves on our agenda as well. So who are Manchester United going to sign in this summer transfer window? Like I said to you, I have seen improvements under Solskjaer. Now, I think our recruitment has really, really improved under Solskjaer. Because so far, Solskjaer spent just over £200 million at Man United. And so far, he has made 4 permanent signings at the football club. Well, he's brought 5 players in because he got a Gallo on loan, but he's made 4 permanent signings. So this transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. Solskjaer's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. Like I said, the way Solskjaer's promoted the youth this season, has been good. Our record against the top 6 sides has been very, very good. I think definitely players have improved under Solskjaer, especially the top players, because all of our top players endured difficult times under the Jose Mourinho era. And Solskjaer has now been at the football club over a year and a half. And, but like I said, he does deserve at least another season. And I think even if we hadn't got qualification for the Champions League, Solskjaer would have still been Man United manager for next season, because it is a transition period, and it has been a transition period for a while, and that, it really, really has. Like I said, we've extended a lot of players' contracts since Solskjaer came in, but we've still got around 7 or 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, so we've got to make a decision on those players. But yeah. And I think Solskjaer has just got under, 2 years left on his current contract at the football club, because when he did get the job permanently in March last year, he signed a 3-year contract at Manchester United worth around £7.5 million per year. Like I said, we have got some injuries for tonight, 3 injuries, and that's Phil Jones, knee injury, Luke Shaw, ankle injury, and Tuanzebe, he's out. I can't remember what injury it is. Luke Shaw and Tuanzebe are not expected to be back for Manchester United until the new season. But we already knew that anyway, that, they're not obviously going to be involved during this Europa League campaign. By the way, Solskjaer was talking about Copenhagen yesterday during his press conference, like he updated you on. And he was asked to describe his relationship with Stale Solbakken. And obviously Solskjaer knows Stale Solbakken very, very well. They've known each other for several years. He said that Stale Solbakken was a very, very good player. He said he's also done well during his managerial career. Solskjaer did mention that he played against stale Solbakken for the first time in like 1995 and all of that, and he said he has created a legacy during his managerial career. But to be honest with you, I don't really know much about this stale Solbakken. But I think he actually believes he can beat Manchester United. But yeah, but like I said to you, there has been problems at the football club for several years. Obviously, there's been obviously a lot of issues with the managers we've had, because in the last 7 years we've had different managers with different philosophies. We spent a good 900 odd million pounds on players, and we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. And this includes who we've brought in under Solskjaer. Obviously, under Moyes we brought Fellaini and Mata in. Under Van Gaal, he brought like 16 players in. He brought the likes of Schneiderlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Daley Blind, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Herrera, Romero. So we brought so many players in under the Louis Van Gaal era. Mourinho, I think he brought like 11 players into the football club, and there's only a few players that have left who Mourinho brought in. So actually, the vast majority of this team is actually, Jose Mourinho's and that. So a lot of money has been spent at Manchester United, and we've also got players on big contracts at the football club. There's obviously been a lot of issues, with the club's board for several years. There's been a lot of problems with the club's ownership, the Glazers. There's been a hell of a lot of problems with Ed Woodward. We've had explanations why we've been very, very critical of all of them, though, innit? Come on, let's be honest. But yeah, but we're now in a good vein of form. Like I said, we have seen an upturn in form since January, because we haven't lost in the league since Burnley beating us. So we are unbeaten in our last 14 league games. I think Solskjaer's learnt a lot since he got appointed in his Man United manager. I think now, he knows what his best 11 is. He knows what his best formation is. I think his decision making's also improved, but don't get me wrong, there's still things Solskjaer needs to improve on at Manchester United, definitely in that. There's still things, he definitely, needs to improve on. But like I said, Solskjaer's now got that managerial experience behind him. Obviously, Man United is the third club in his managerial career. Obviously, before he was at us, he was at Molde. Did quite well at Molde, to be fair, won a few Norwegian titles, and before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. Obviously, enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. The main explanation why he got sacked from Cardiff is because his record was actually, disastrous at Cardiff, and he obviously, ended up getting Cardiff relegated. So yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.